Welcome to Stage Door with Michael.
And Divina, I'm Michael.
And I'm Divina. And we're going to be meeting lots of exciting and interesting people from across the theatrical world.
Yes, we're going to stage doors to meet all of your favourite theatre stars.
Oh, we sure are. And we're getting all the news and gossip about what's happening in the theatre world and finding out what makes them tick.
Now, I'm particularly excited for this episode because not only is he a superstar, but he's also one of my very good friends and star of primary school bangers. It's James Partridge.
Woo!
Good
Welcome to the
morning,
stage door.
everybody.
Good
Good morning.
morning. I'm particularly intrigued by your background. This is it curtains?
Yeah, this is curtains, William Morris curtains. There is a busy road outside, so it does help
Oh,
get rid of all the sounds. So
that's
it's just the
good.
studio
I like.
setup.
And then you've got lots of books to your right.
Yes, this is my songbook collection for all my teaching that I do. I've got
Look, look
lots of
at.
musical theatre.
Can we just take a second and just drink in how great James's setup is? That he's like, yes, let me just move the camera for you. So you can, if I move the camera, you are just looking at chaos in this room. So
I feel like our
this is
backgrounds sum us all up. It's like James has got his perfect, like school set up with all of his music, his proper microphone, and then Davina's got her sparkly curtain, and I've got a mirror.
Well, you do have
Perfect.
other things to worry about at the moment, Michael.
Oh my gosh,
In
I'm
this
surprised I'm
at
awake,
school.
let's be honest.
Well done,
I
well
I
done.
wasn't sure you were gonna make it. If I'm totally honest.
Fine, baby is down. I've given
So
her her food.
as long as she's fed and slept, then you're fine, aren't you?
Perfect.
And
Has she made it onto a podcast episode yet?
Not yet, no. She's not quite full of voice.
oh,
She's not got much to say at this point.
you
Today's all
just
about
don't.
you, James, about
Yeah,
you.
it is. And you're about to head out on a 25-day UK tour with primary school bangers, which we
Woo!
all want to hear all about. But first, how did it start? When did you realise that this was going to be your niche, James?
Well, so in terms of a live show, Michael was there at the very first version of this show, and Michael even sang in it.
I
Um,
did.
Unfortunately, Michael was cut from the show.
I was the only thing that didn't work from the show, was I?
Callous.
I thought the only way to make this work is to get rid of Michael Auger. No,
Savage.
but
I think Davina feels the same about this podcast.
the only way this podcast is going to work, you need to go solo. No, it was so that basically this whole thing started in the same way that I'm doing now on a screen in front of my pupils. I was teaching all my pupils online as a music teacher during the dark days of lockdown that we don't talk about, the days that must not be named. And then off the back of that, I started putting out videos on YouTube, like singing tips and musical theatre warm-ups and things like that. And that led into someone saying, "Oh, why don't you put some stuff on TikTok?" And I thought, "Oh, TikTok's just for 15-year-olds dancing. It's not for me." But then I just put up a few kind of tips and some funny clips. And one of the first videos I put up was a top of the pop style top 10 rundown of my favorite school assembly songs. And I put it as my top 10 primary school bangers. And he's got the whole world in his hands. Give me all of my lamp. This is all out of mine. All of that kind of stuff. The stuff we sang at school, and it really kind of popped off online. And then I didn't really think too much of it. I made a few more kind of clips of old school tunes. But then I was doing regularly singing at Michael's Sunday sessions at the Phoenix Arts Club in Soho. And I think you asked me to host one, didn't you? And
Yes, yeah.
I thought something slightly different, we still did some of the musical theatre stuff because my brother also sang on that one. And then we did not a duet, a trio, if that's how you call it, of a Sondheim song, didn't we? And then a few other bits and pieces. But then I also thought, what would be quite fun is to do like some of those school assembly songs, but as part of it. So it was a slightly random mix of stuff. But then I went away and I rewrote it, and then just booked out a one night evening at the Piano Bar in Piano Smithfield, which is East London, and just like it was literally like 60 people in a room with cocktails flowing, and I rewrote it kind of as a almost like a theatre show that I just tell a story throughout it, weave all the songs in and out of it, and still do a bit of musical theatre and a bit of Disney and things like that. But and then off the back of that, I posted some clips, and then people were commenting saying, "Oh, why don't you come up to Preston, or why don't you come to wherever, Newcastle or wherever in the country?" And I thought, okay. So I spent ages making like a very nerdy spreadsheet of all of the kind of like cabaret venues and club venues across the UK, and getting all the emails and emailing all these people saying, "Are you up for a night of school assembly sing-alongs by any chance?" And then most of them just pressed delete immediately. But the ones that didn't, we had a very good time, and it's just really rolled organically over time and from putting videos online.
Oh,
That's
amazing.
a very long answer to your question.
No, it's great.
I want to know what your favourite one is.
Well, I always like a tune that people can get involved with actions. So whether it's he's got the whole world in his hands, got lots of actions. And what else? We've got Give Me All of My Lamp always pops off, that one.
Yeah, that's immediately created a filthy rewrite in my head for like a bear
Exactly.
bar.
There's so much. I genuinely. At one point, I was thinking of rewriting the whole show and calling it After School Detention.
You should do like a late night one that's a little bit risque. Get Divina as your special guest.
Well, I think I'm going back to the Edinburgh Fringe this summer. So and I'm going to do like a lunchtime slot. But what might be quite fun is doing a lunchtime slot and then a late night slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, have maybe some like whatever way we do it, whether it's drag or like male dancers or whatever.
Late and loaded.
Really fun. Yeah, definitely. You get detention. You got to sit up on the stage, and then all these prefects or whatever come in their like school ties. And this is my.
Where's this going? Okay, so we've decided the next tour, but for those people coming to this tour, obviously you're doing some amazing venues. Like Birmingham Symphony Hall is one of my favourite venues ever. Like, what can people actually expect from this tour before they get to the detention section?
That's all what I dream about, that sort of stuff. But with this tour, it's basically we are gonna. When you come into the venue, you're immediately taken kind of back in time. There's going to be like school desks and even like the apparatus from school and some like retro TVs maybe on the stage and like an overhead projector kind of thing. So you sit down and you see, I lead you through all these sing-alongs and like tell stories and jokes and funny, like mashups and things in between. And I'm even planning on having like a campfire area where I get a guitar out, start singing Kumbaya and stuff like that. So it's gonna be just like ultimate feel good sing along night of nostalgia, basically.
Cool.
I'm interested to know, like, was this something that was, always in the cards for little James while you were at junior school singing "Morning Has Broken"? Were you thinking, you know what? Actually, I should be the one in front of everybody here. What was life like for little James?
I was sat there, cross-legged on the Coles Assembly Hall floor, envisaging 25 years in the future, I'm going to be singing at Birmingham Symphony Hall in front of 1,000 people. Hopefully, if people buy tickets. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I always loved music. I was always quite shy, I think, as a student. So the one way that I worked on that was to actually play the piano, because especially with playing the piano, you can kind of hide a little bit behind it. Obviously, when you sing, it's a bit more scary because you're a soloist. So then I started singing in choirs when I was a little bit older, and I think like doing choirs, I was always slightly jealous of my brother who got to sing all this fun stuff because he did musical theatre school every week on a Saturday. And then I did the symphony chorus in my local town in Poole, and which is great. And I learned all sorts of classical music, and that's kind of the route. I went down more into the classical route first of all, but then when I went to university, I ended up doing more musical theatre stuff, and I've always had a big love of musical theatre as well. But then I never expected. One of my friends said to me, one of my like longtime friends said, of all the various things you've done, I never would have thought like doing school assembly sing-alongs would be like the thing that lands, but it has, and it's great.
So funny.
Who would have thought?
But to be fair though, like it's given you such great opportunities. You've been on Songs of Praise, you've been on the One Show, and you've even performed to how many thousand people in Glastonbury? Like, does it feel surreal that this is what you're doing, or does it just feel like what was the biggest pinch me moment, the way you realized, okay, this is where I'm going to get with this?
I'll tell you something that happened last night, which is very strange. Apparently, so on Coronation Street, right? They had some kind of church service, and they were singing "All Things Bright and Beautiful," and then they said, "Oh, they do this at Glastonbury now." And then the guy was like, "Oh, people need to get their heads checked." And then like the priest in the episode that went out yesterday, well, as we were recording yesterday, the priest says, "Oh, this is an old school assembly banger that they sing at their festivals." And I was like, "They're talking about me on Coronation Street.
Where's my money?"
Yeah. The first moment that anything popped off was I knew because of your mum, Michael. Because
right.
you texted me to say that your mum had been watching Loose Women, and on Loose Women they featured my video, and I had no idea about this. Like they never messaged me before or after the show, but then they put my video up on the big screen, and they were literally doing like a live reaction of all the people on Loose Women. They're doing a live reaction to my TikTok video of the top 10 assembly bangers, which was great, but they never got in touch.
It's mad, isn't it? They can do that.
Yeah.
The buggers.
So how many people was it at Glastonbury? What was how many people? Because they have to close off the site because too many people were trying to get in to watch you.
So the stage I was on was such a small stage. It wasn't even on like the official map, basically. So normally they have like, I don't know, 50 people at the stage, but every single like bit of that field was full of people trying to get in to see my show. And the funny thing was, people got there like an hour and a half early to see it, and like the act on before me was like a really experimental bit of theatre, and they were like, okay, this is like a massive crowd, so they did some like really random stuff, but yeah, they had to close the whole area, because there were too many people trying to get in. So basically, that first gig was also filmed by BBC. And to go on like the Glastonbury kind of footage, and what happened was they put me on the Thursday for my first show, and on the Thursday like the main stages aren't open, but all the other ones are. So like your big 4 or 5 main stages where you'll have like the headliners playing, Olivia Rodrigo and stuff, like those aren't open, so everyone's looking for something to do. So people just went on the app and saw, oh, what's this, Primary School Bangers, let's go and see that. Or they might have seen me online or heard about it, whatever. And I think in the field itself there might have been like 4,000 or 5,000 people.
Wow,
that's quite hard to say, but online, BBC News actually put it on their TikTok, and it got like 8 million views or something, which
amazing,
is ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's
almost as much as Strictly. Like that is.
Yeah.
I just love the headline on the news. It was literally, didn't they say something like, "Oh, Glastonbury has to shut its gates because there's some assembly bangers." I was like, what? You never thought that would happen, would you? Like,
No.
Too many people want to go and sing assembly classics.
Yeah.
There comes Daisy standing up in the
That's your favourite one.
I love that one. I love Shine Jesus Shine as well. I can't believe you got to meet the guy that wrote it, right?
Yeah, he came on stage with me at Tunbridge Wells.
So
Assembly
cool.
Hall. So he lives in Tunbridge Wells, and I got in touch with him, and because we've kind of messaged a bit. To be completely honest, I actually didn't realise he was still alive. It's one of those things where when you sing these songs, you kind of assume it was all written like a long time ago in the past,
hundreds of years, yeah.
But no, he's still very much going. He's still gigging, but he's really, really nice, and I think he's kind of like as surprised as I am about how it's gone. And I brought him out on stage and we sang together, and we actually also did it at a festival in Sussex in the summer as well. And it's so good, and he's great, and I was like, this is, I felt like I was meeting Beyonce or something. This guy was he wrote Shine Jesus Shine, which was my soundtrack to my childhood.
I love that.
Well, we're gonna play a little game now.
Okay, I like games.
You want to play a game? So, you've mentioned that you've done a lot of musical theatre at university, so that's going to help you in this moment. Okay,
Okay.
because what we want you to do is in 30 seconds name as many different musical theatre songs as you possibly can. Okay?
Yeah, songs, not shows. We've
Well,
changed the rules
yeah,
this year,
we did.
2026.
Because people started like
Practicing.
practicing. So they were like swatting up before they came on. They were like, oh yeah, I've got like it's all up here now. So then we were like, well, hold on a minute. We need to switch this up because otherwise it's too easy because people know what it is. So, as many musical theatre songs as you can in 30 seconds. Are you ready for the challenge?
Let's give it a go.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Can't Help Loving That Man. Million Dreams. Memory. Oh my god. This is when you forget every single song that you've ever heard. This is also the most random selection of songs. Okay, now let's see. Higher Than a Hawk. This is the most random selection of songs. Okay, I definitely should know more than this because I teach. This is like the worst game ever. I need to.
We're done.
Oh, James, you know
Also,
so many
the
more
songs
than
I've
that.
chosen, Can't Help Loving That Man, Memory, Million Dreams, and Higher Than a Hawk. The most random 4 songs.
You must include these in your next show.
Oh, that was like some weird pinball machine in your brain going, oh, I'll
Yeah.
go right over to this. And
Okay,
then,
well,
let's go all the way over there.
We'll do the 1920s, followed by the 2020s. So we need something in the middle. Let's have the Memory, 1970s, 80s. Then we'll go 1940s, Higher Than a Hawk.
Well done. Thank you for playing. Now listen,
And
I
now
want
you've
to
got
know.
sing. Michael has to sing all 4 of those.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
at some point. I will.
Okay.
I'll try. Challenge accepted.
I don't know
Um,
Higher Than a Hawk. What's that from?
Calamity Jane.
Oh, from Calamity Jane.
No, or is that Annie Get Your Gun?
Oh.
One of those.
I don't think it's, well, yeah, maybe it was. I did go and see Calamity Jane, but
No, I think it's Annie Get Your Gun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Get it
There we
quick.
go.
So,
But don't
Annie,
take it to a
tomorrow.
protest.
James, I want to know what audiences are like at your shows. Does it really feel like you're back in assembly, or is it like people have gone to the bar first and then they're being nostalgic, or like, tell us a bit about that.
So, without like setting out for this, my audience is like mostly, it's mostly women in their 40s, I would say, 30s and 40s. Which is a great audience to have. But that's probably like like 85% of the audience, and there's quite a lot of plus ones that have been dragged along and have no idea what's going on. So that's quite fun as well. But a lot of people have, let's say, imbibed their singing juice. They've had their singing juice from the bar, and a lot of the venues, especially when I did the smaller venues like art centers and stuff, a lot of the venues said that they've had like the highest bar sales they've ever had at my shows. So they have to like quite often like send someone out to run to get some prosecco.
Guys, we're running low on the bar. Why? What's the show? School Assembly Bangers.
Yeah.
The Great Prestwich Prosecco Shortage of 2026.
Darlington Tesco Express doesn't know what hit it.
So funny.
Member of the bar staff running in saying, right, we need 30 cases of your finest prosecco. Not even your finest, whatever you've got. Anything with bubbles, we'll take it.
I love that.
So there's quite a lot of Huns. This is a Hun-tastic event then.
It's a Hun fest, and we love it. We love the Hun.
I love that. The Huns are always great fun as well. Like, it's always a good laugh with the Huns. So I'm fully into
And
that.
it's not exclusively for them, but it just so happens that's what it's kind of landed on.
Yeah.
Anyone is involved. I have actually had some shows where I've had like multiple generations of one family coming to it. So I've had like a mum in her 30s plus a kid who might be 15 or younger, whatever, and then like her mum who's like 60, and then like the granny who's like 90 or whatever, like multiple generations of a family.
Oh, wow.
So that's quite fun.
Yeah, that's great. That's exactly what you want, really. Everybody wants to come to my show.
Yeah. From 9 to 90, you're involved.
Exactly. You are the panto of live cabaret.
Pretty much, yeah. One day we'll do the panto. I've never done one.
Have you not?
No, never done a panto.
Oh, you've heard it here
I mean,
first. Get on there, producers, if you want to be the first person to have James Partridge, primary school bangers extraordinaire at your panto. Get booking.
I mean, it's already that's already set up as well. You just have you as the schoolmaster.
Yeah.
Done.
Which panto's got?
Which panto's that? Yeah.
Peter Pan. Well, he probably got like a school teacher or something.
You clearly have never done panto because why do you
Anything
need
goes.
to have anything that makes sense in it? It doesn't need to make sense. We're suddenly in a school. Who knows why? But we
Back in the
are.
beanstalk. He goes up the beanstalk, and there's James.
Sit down in your chair, child. It's time to sing. It'd be great.
Whole panto
Oh
in
dear,
it.
oh dear.
So, we've got this is now, and it's really full of like nostalgia, isn't it? So, what is the future? What does that look like? Do you have like other plans? Do you have other projects in the in the offing?
So, as well as the primary school bangers tour, I also have a Christmas tour, which I did at the end of last year. It's basically the same structure of a show, like telling stories, musical mashups, but lots of sing-alongs, and obviously Christmas is all about the big communal sing-along, and it's literally called the Big Christmas Assembly, and it is a lot of fun. I actually started it pretty early last year. My first Christmas show was illegally on the 2nd of November, which is before Bonfire Night, which should not be allowed, but because a lot of theatres have panto, you've got to do it in November, or unless you do it on top of their set.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did, but I'm not going to start that early this year. But I think my first gig, I'm already booking Christmas gigs. So 29th of November, I think, is the first one. So it'll be announced in a few weeks. Actually, I think we're going to announce it around the time of the spring tour.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. So I'll probably be doing some kind of Christmas sing along until the day I die, which is great. And then aside from that, just I don't really know what's gonna happen. I'm doing a couple of festivals in the summer. I'm hopefully doing Edinburgh Fringe again. It might be that I do a different version of this show with other things. It'd be cool to do like a musical theatre version of it, even though I do a bit of musical theatre in the show. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm very much not. I'm not one for 5-year plans. I'm one for just rolling with it. Rolling with the flow.
So, what are the dates of the tour?
So this not Christmas tour, this spring tour, we start off. I think it's the 29th of February is the first one, and then I'm doing like I'm doing 6 shows in March, I think, including Manchester Albert Hall, and I'm going up to Newcastle to the Gateshead Sage Glasshouse, which is a beautiful venue, and then from April, it's like the whole of April's gigs, basically. So, and guess what I'm getting? I'm getting a tour bus for this tour. I'm getting a tour bus, primary school bangers tour bus, because I'm going to be touring with a sound person and some crew and stuff. So, I think the most
it needs to be like a proper school bus, like
to be like an old school bus. And like we need to sing like "Hail to the Bus Driver" and like the wheels on the bus.
Oh, I love that. So much content. I can picture it already. So James, you've been absolutely amazing. But before you go, do you have any like habits or rituals that you do before you go on stage? Like, do you have a warm-up routine that you can tell us about?
So I used to sing in like a wedding function band for like a decade. And we would always get fed like the wedding food, and I would literally be eating like a massive lasagna like a minute before the gig and just get on with it. But it didn't affect me whatsoever. But now I cannot eat within like an hour of going on stage. Otherwise, I'm just like burping throughout the whole thing, and like I just got acid reflux, and it's really grim. It's not great. So I have to. So I usually get some kind of like Nando's or whatever like Deliveroo kind of coming in like an hour and a half before the show, and I'm not very good at actually warming up before the show. I might do a few stretches. As a singing teacher, I would say everyone should warm up before the show. But to be honest, by the time you get to the show, you've already kind of, it's kind of late in the day. Your voice is pretty much warmed up. But I'll try and do a bit of sirening, maybe just like a bit of like weird humming and stuff like that. The nice thing about the songs that I do is that the range, because they're for children, a lot of them, the range is quite small. So luckily, I actually don't have to like belt out any top G's or A's or whatever, throughout this show. So, and if I do, I just transpose it all down. I put it in lower keys, so then it's nicer for me to sing.
You're in control, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. And also, the audience generally would have not like the highest range, so for them to sing along, like, you know, I'm not going to be belting out like. I do actually have a bit in the Christmas show where, you know, do you remember descants? Do you ever sing a descant? I'll accompany you now. Here we go. I'm going to do it in G. Top notes. Yeah, so there is an opportunity if you are one of the slightly more advanced singers of the primary school. You can sing some high notes if you would like to, but generally most of it is very singable. So as long as I can talk and sing up to like a top D, then it's pretty much fine.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yes. But in terms of rituals, I did start getting into candles in the last tour, just to set the vibe and to get into the headspace of it. I actually weirdly found the days of the show where things went wrong, or not necessarily wrong, or things overran, and I didn't have much time to eat. Those were the days that I felt most nervous on stage. So I did a gig where the lighting wasn't right, and it's nothing to do with me. It's like the guys that were doing the lighting hadn't like fitted it properly and whatever. It all like massively overran. I only had like half an hour to eat and prepare before that, and like quickly steam my shirt, you know. And I felt really anxious on stage and really nervous for like the first half of the show, because I hadn't had that pre-show like calming ritual of like getting in the headspace, you know, getting, you know, like eating in advance, you know, having the time to get all my clothes ready, and I felt really nervous and anxious. And I think like when you're performing, especially like a long run of shows, and I'm sure you've both experienced this as well, you do get into that routine of getting to the venue 4 or 5 hours before, whatever it is, warming up, doing the sound check, and then you've got that bit of kind of like holy time in between. Like it's a bit of a sacred space. You don't really want to, you know, have all of that eaten up by sound checks and technical things going wrong. And so when it does happen, it does throw you off a little bit. And so in your mind, you're like, oh crap, I don't feel ready for this. And that's the only times I felt a bit shaky and whatever on the stage.
Yeah, mine is always just if I haven't learnt the stuff properly.
Yeah. There is that. Luckily for me, I can cheat slightly because I've got my iPad with all the words on it, and I can put it up on my piano. And if
Don't tell everyone that. Don't tell everyone.
I do have it blocked up from the audience, so
Yeah.
they might just think I'm looking at my hands to see where I need to play it, but I'm actually reminding myself what the words are.
So we have got a final game for you, and I think it's only right that we...
Hopefully I do better.
Yeah, it's only right that we do a primary school banger. So I will sing the first line of a song, and all you've got to do is finish the song off. Okay.
I've got my iPad here for the words.
All right, good. Very good. Because I don't know if I'm going to sing the right words or not. Morning has broken like the first morning.
Blackbird has spoken like the first day. Word? Like the first word. Like the first word. That's when I'd take a little glance at my
I thought it was... Oh yeah, I don't know what the word is. Morning is broken and the first morning. Blackbird.
I don't
Isn't it
know if
like...
it's the first bird because
I thought bird.
it's the
it's
blackbird.
I think it's word.
Okay.
The only bird gets the word.
I mean, I don't know the words to my own song,
Let us
so I'm
know.
not going to
James-
question you.
You've been amazing. Tell everyone where they can find you on social media before you go.
So, on my website is jamesbpartridge.com, and it's got all the links on there. Instagram is the same, TikTok's the same. I don't know what it is on Facebook. I think it's like James B. Partridge Official or something like that. And yeah, that's it.
And we'll see you on tour. Thank you for coming to Stage Door.
Thank you.
James Partridge, everybody.